Alright, hello everyone, it's Alex here. This is going to be a very basic C++ video showing you what C++ is. It is a programming language, a high-level programming language actually. There are low-level programming languages, but usually with low levels you are dependent on the hardware, so when you're programming you gotta take a look at the hardware. High levels, you're not dependent on the hardware at all, which is really nice. Well, right now I'm going to be coding on a website called Replit. It's a really nice website because it's free. You just make an account and you start coding away. It's better than downloading a huge application that takes up a lot of memory on your desktop or laptop like Notepad++ or CodeBlocks or Visual. Replit's really convenient in that aspect. Well, anyways, when you start coding with C++, you start by including your libraries. There's different libraries that provide you with different tools. The library that we'll be needing right now for this short, simple program is called IOStream. So let's include it real quick. You're going to include IOStream. Now I said there's different kinds of libraries that provide you with different tools. There's one that provides you with the law map tools called CMAF. Even though we won't be needing this is just to show you that the formatting for all the libraries are the same. So, talking about formatting, there's a formatting library called IOManip, and it's just that simple to include a library. Now we're going to write using namespace std. The reason why you write this is because our code can get pretty tedious if we don't write this, and I'll show you guys why here later. Then we make our main function. This is where all our code's going to be, in between these brackets right here. Return 0 is what ends your program. It stops it from running. It's crucial to have it there, or else you will get an error thrown at you. Like I said, the only library we'll be needing is IOStream, this first one right here, and this is the one that is going to be giving us our couts and cins. But before I get into couts and cins, these two dashes I write right here, that I put right here, anything after that will not be read by the compiler. They are comments, and they are for the programmer. That way the programmer knows what's going on. It's because sometimes if you don't look at your code for a few days and you look at it, you're gonna be really confused and be like, what's going on here? So comments will help you understand. Comments aren't read by the compiler. If you don't know what a compiler is, it's what grabs all your code and turns it into ones and zeros. Because remember, any electrical device that you've ever used, or computer or machine, all it knows is ones and zeros, millions of ones and zeros, which is on and off. On is 1, off is 0. Well, anyways, back to couts and cins. Couts are actually just used to display text on the screen. So if we were to display text on the screen, we would type cout, the arrow's pointing that way, then you hit the quotation marks key, and whatever's inside the quotation marks, that's what's going to be displayed on the screen. So we're going to hit hello viewers. Don't forget your semicolon here, or else you will get an error thrown at you. So let's just run this. We're expecting hello viewers on the right hand side when it gets run. Alright, but let's forget the semicolon, see what the error says. It's going to say in the main function, which we're in the main function right here, we're in between the brackets, it says on line 14, error expected, semicolon, before return 0. It says on line 14, but the error is not till line 10. But it's telling us that as the compiler was reading downwards, once I hit the return 0, it ran into an error. And the error is before the return 0, which is right here. And it told us that it was a semicolon, and semicolon belongs there. So let's run it again with the semicolon. There it is. And that's as basic as couts get. Couts just help you display text on the screen. Cins are actually different. Cins help you grab data that the user enters. But before we can grab data, what do we want? Let's ask the user just to enter a simple number. So enter a number. Now we can use our cin because we know that we're going to be receiving a number. But before we can use the cin, let's think about it. If we're gonna get a number, we have to store it somewhere. But right now, as we stand, we have nowhere to store it. And this is where variables come in play. there are different kinds of variables. The way you say it is there are different kinds of data type variables that can hold different kinds of data types. Some can hold characters, I mean letters. Some can hold just like regular numbers. There's specific variables that can hold up numbers with decimals, and I'll show you guys right now. But right now, all we need is an integer type variable. So if you're going to put int, and now we have an integer variable. Now we just got to give it a name. You can name it whatever you want. My name's Alex. I'll just name it Alex. So now we have a variable named Alex, type integer. And now we have something to store in the number that the user is going to enter. So now we can actually use the cin. So the cins are different than couts because the cins arrows point the complete opposite way. And now we can just type Alex. And now if we were to run this, now it's going to say, hello viewers, enter a number. We're going to hit 5, enter. And believe it or not, since I hit 5 right here, 5 was stored inside of Alex, but nothing else was coded out to happen. That was it. So just to prove it, let's see out Alex and see out the 5. Let's see the 5 being printed out if we see out Alex. So let's just see out your number was Alex. Let's run it. Your number, okay, 5, enter number 5. Your number was 5, which makes sense. But notice how was and 5 are stuck together. That's because programming is pretty delicate. That's the reason why a lot of people struggle. It's like debugging stuff, and it doesn't like the formatting is really complex. That's only because we didn't write a space right here. So since let me just put that space right there. Now they're going to be separated. Your number was 5. Now it looks better. It looks cleaner. Alright, like I was talking about variables, there's different kinds of data type variables. Right now we're just getting a regular number, which is an integer variable. There's char, which stand for characters. Those variables can hold the value of a letter. Doubles are just like an integers, but can hold up to 2 decimal values. But right now all we needed was an integer variable. I feel like I'm saying variable really weird sometimes. Anyways, back to what we were writing before we even started coding. The reason why we put using namespace std right here is because if we comment it out, it's not going to be read by the compiler right now. Let's just run the program. We're going to get errors saying that the cout was not declared in the scope. And the reason why is because we didn't include the using namespace std, obviously. But couts and cins are declared since we did include IOStream, because IOStream provides us with couts and cins. But the only difference is before every cout and cin we have to write this if we don't write using namespace std, which is why it can get tedious. Because what if you have a lot of couts and cins? Watch this run. It's going to run perfectly well. 5. Your number was 5. That's the reason why you put using namespace std right there. You can have it both ways, but I don't see why on God's green earth you would do that. But you can if you want. Alright, and this is as simple as programming gets. It does get a lot more complex than this, obviously, but this is the very basics. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will be posting more videos about this later on, because believe me, there is so much more to programming. I will be posting different kinds of videos later on. But thank you guys so much for watching this one. Thank you.